let's create a button here where a user can press either to log in or rather to sign up. So we're going to create a button here. Let's come back to our code. Here I will create a div, and inside this div I'm going to create a button, and this button I'll call it sign up, and this button I will give it a class of my button so that we can style it. And let's refresh so that we see how we have our button here. Let's now style it. So we are going to take the class my button, and my button we are going to style it. We are going to style my button. We will give it a margin top of 15 pixel, and we are going to give it a color of white, and we are going to give it a background color of dark blue. Let's give it a padding of 10 pixel all round, and let's give it a border radius of something like 5 pixels. And when we refresh, yeah, we have it now here. So we are going to create when the user has forgotten his password, or when the user already have an account, there's no need to sign up. He will just log in. So we are going to create a link here that will lead us to a login page. Then we create a login page. So we will come here, then go back to signup.php. Here we will create a div. We'll create a div that the user can use to sign up. Just inside the form, we'll create a div, and inside this div we'll have a span, and this span I'll give it a class of login redirect, span of class login redirect, and we'll give it an anchor tag here, and this anchor tag will connect it to login.html, and we'll name it login. We'll name it login. Then let's close this span. Then we save, and we can refresh so that we can see. Yes, now we have it here. So let's style this button. Let's style this link so that we remove that underline, and at least we can change the color. So back here to my style, I will style that class which is login redirect. I'll go to my class here, and I say I'll say login redirect, and I'll give it a text decoration of none. I'll give it a color of blue. Yes, and when we refresh, let's check something. Login redirect, a color of blue, and a text decoration of none, and we save, and I come back to login redirect. Let me remove this, and I save here. Let me remove this. and I save, and when we refresh, there's a problem somewhere. Let's see. And let's make sure that every semicolon is closed, and when I come back here to sign up.php, then I check everything is closed. Yes. Oh, let's style this anchor tag, because our link is inside an anchor tag. So whatever we do, we give it an anchor tag to tell CSS that we are styling the anchor tag. And now when we refresh, you can see login. Though we don't have the page, when we press, we'll get an error, our file not found, and you can see our file is not found. So we are going to create that page, which is login.html. So we're going to file a new file. Let's create the file login.html, and let's save it, login.html, and I will save it under tutorials, and I said that these files you can download them. So in login.html is going to be more or less the same as the signup.html. So we'll come here and copy everything that we have in the body section. We copy everything that we have in the body section. Let's copy it from here. Let me reduce the font so that I can copy it in a good way, and do that. Yes, and when I copy it up for all the body section, and I go to login.html and I paste, and when I paste, I'll just give it this HTML layout. Then in the body section, I will paste what I copied there, and I will call it a title. I will call it a login, and I will change this to login form, and I will change the button to login, and the redirect I will change it to login, or rather signup.html. We have the form already existing, and when we save and refresh, now we have our file. I'm not supposed to get any error. We are going to connect the style sheet, because it's the same style sheet that we are using, and you remember that this is how it looks like without any style. So let's connect the style sheet, and at the top where we have the title, I'll just insert the link. And this link will lead us to a href of my style.css, and when I save that and preview, now you can see, let's change something here, and now you can see, yeah, it looks a bit better. So let's remove these excess fields, so that it can only be we don't need a confirm password field. So I'll delete a confirm password field. I'll delete this phone number field. I'll delete an email field, because the user can log in either with the username or email if provided. So we will come here and remove excess divs, which is this. and remove that white space so it has no effect in our code. And here we will have a placeholder telling the user that he can either log in using the email or the username he provided. So we'll say enter username or email. Username or email, so the user can know that he can either enter the username or email. And we are going to try to create some link here where a user can reset password in case he or she has forgotten his password. So we will create a div here, login, so we can just have inside this div. So let's remove this, and I will have another span here, a span with an anchor tag with an href of forgot password. Let me remove this. Forgot password dot php forgot password dot php. Then I will call it forgot password, where the user can know that that's the link to reset password. Forgot password. And when we refresh, we can see. And now let's create some space here and style it so that it can look better. So I'll go back to my code, and if styling it, whatever I'll do, I will create a space between them, and I'll use the space which is in %NBSP, that, and this span I'll give it a class of FGT PWD, forgot password. And we go to my style here, and I say forgot password FGT PWD, and we are styling the anchor tag, and I'll say text decoration none, and a color, let me use the RGB of now blue, which I can say RGB, and the RGB I can say 75, 120, 200, and I say, and when I refresh, now you can see where the user can now press, though we don't have the form. When we press here, we'll get an error. We don't have that form. The file is not found. It's a PHP form that we will create. We will create in it with PHP so that it can assist the user to reset his or her password. Now, when you see here, when a user presses on login, he can go back to the login form. When a user presses on sign up, we can go up to the sign up form. Another thing that we need to do, we need, let me show you something here. We need to do a PHP HTML5 verification, such that the form itself can verify that all fields are entered before the user's data are sent to the form we created, index.php here. Because these forms, you see it has an action of sign up, it has an action of index.php. Though whatever we will do, let's return the form. Let's return the form. Let's return the form here. Let's remove that and return our form. and returns its action, which is index.php. Same to this for sign up, the action index.php. And when we refresh, everything is good. And when we press on that, it will download the form. When we press on this button, it will download the form, and let me show you. It will download the form. Reason we don't, though we have the form index.php, but a PHP page, you can only open it inside a server, and you cannot open it offline outside the server. So we need a server connected so that we can open, or this form can connect to index.php. Index.php. If you're working outside PHP and you press on this button, you see it's downloading the form. So whatever we will do, we will submit the form to itself. Then we do some little validations here. We will go to these fields. Any field that is calling itself an input field, we will add an attribute required. We will add an attribute required. We will add an attribute required. Let me select every input, yes, and I add an attribute required. And this form, I'm going to submit it now to itself, which is signup.html. And same to this other one, I'll submit it to its own to itself, which is login.html, and I'll make these large attribute here required, both this and this. I will make them have them an attribute required, and we save. Now when we preview, then now you see, please fill out this form, please fill out this field, and when we fill that and we try to sign up, please fill in this field, and you see it's validating if it's an email type, and it's telling us that it's missing at, though proper validation we can do in PHP using a function, using a variable. Now what we are going to do here, we can check also on the login, and when we try logging in, please fill out this field, and when I fill the field, I try logging in, please fill out this field. This means that the PHP, it's the HTML itself is doing a validation of the form, and you cannot submit an empty form. You cannot submit a blank input. Now I think our form is good to go now, and we can play around with it. User can log in, a user can sign up. So let's change this to sign up so that the user can sign up. So I'll go back here and change the name from login to sign up, and we save. And now when we refresh, yes, it says to sign up. So our user knows that he can either sign up from here or he can log in from here. So our form is interactive, and it now looks good, and you can see the user can log in or sign up. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, share and comment. If you have any problem, I'm willing to assist. And these files, you can you'll download them from the description. I'll paste them in the description. And in the next tutorial, we are going to use PHP and JavaScript now to make this form interactive and do more validation more than this, such that a user can enter something like that and make it and leave it blank, and when you try signing up and we enter that, this is a phone number. Well, let me delete that and do something funny here and place at and do that. It will take, you see it's taking that input as in email just because it have the at symbol. So whatever we're going to do, we do more validations and more sanitizing of the form using PHP.